Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Redneck Light. Today I'm going to be upgrading my beta tester Carb Cheater to a Carb Cheater 2.0. In a nutshell, the Carb Cheater is a way to vary the air-fuel ratio on your motor electronically to assist your carburetor, and it would take someone like me forever, if at all, to tune a carburetor for all those scenarios. The Carb Cheater makes it much easier. It's got an auto-tune function where you can enter the air-fuel ratio that you want it to hit in certain situations, and it will open a little air valve to hit that air-fuel ratio. It also has a logging capability where you can kind of see where your carburetor is off if you need to change the jets or adjust certain settings. It's really a great tool to be able to troubleshoot and also keep your carburetor running as efficiently as possible. And the number one reason I got this as an early beta tester is that if it fails for any reason, you unplug it and your carburetor still works like it always did. The number one reason you run a carburetor is for reliability and the ease of repair if something goes wrong. So a lot of these kits where you can convert fuel injection, the Holly Sniper, all that kind of stuff, if you're able to get the thing working, if it goes wrong, you've got a dead car. With this, something goes wrong with the Carb Cheater, doesn't matter. You've still got the baseline carburetor that you always had. Plus, in the years that I've had it, I've been part of the Facebook group that Luke, Thunderhead 289, and Joe, the inventors and the sellers of the Carb Cheater, they personally reply to any questions on their Facebook page or that you email to them. There's pretty much no other product out there where you can get that kind of personal customer service from the literal inventors and the programmers of the thing. Like I said, it's a great upgrade. I've had the beta for many years. As time went on, they improved the brain box. And then finally, they came out with the 2.0 hardware, and they offered a little kit to upgrade the beta testers. And I figured I would, because I actually bought a Carb Cheater 2.0 complete kit for my Lincoln. It's been in there basically ever since I got the thing, the Lincoln, running real well, and it's performed flawlessly. And the air valve on the 2.0 is much more responsive and much more silent, honestly, which the old beta units, they had the air valve that made it makes a pretty loud whistling sound. I never really minded that much because this is an old, loud truck. But I figured I'd upgrade to the 2.0 because they continue to make improvements. They continue to release updates. So if at any point in the future they release something that's really cool, I can upgrade my 2.0 brain box to support whatever it is that they add to it. Honestly, I'm no tuning expert. This is not a racing truck. This is just a truck that I need to do truck stuff every once in a while. So I need it to run efficiently. It's a 460, but it would be nice to get decent gas mileage out of it. So that's my use case for the Carb Cheater. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to do here is actually update the firmware on my brain box. I already did the display. I got this one a while back as a companion to my beta version of my Carb Cheater. Since I don't know if it's compatible with the 2.0 box, and it's just best to have everything up to date. Especially, being from the tech world, I am apprehensive about updating firmware on stuff if it works. Joe and Luke are extremely responsive on Facebook. Anybody who's ever had a problem, they've responded quickly and helped out, and if necessary, they've sent out replacements. And it does seem fairly idiot-proof. Right now I've got a micro USB cable, and that just plugs into a little port. This little brain box is held in with 2 screws on the end, and then it just slides out, and there's a little micro USB port that isn't accessible unless you have the brain box out. One thing you do want to make sure is you don't put this down on anything conductive. I've just got it sitting on top of the plastic box, and you can handle this kind of by the sides, but just to be safe, make sure when you plug this in, don't touch anything on here. I don't think any of it's going to electrocute you or anything like that, but you don't want to short anything out on the circuit board. But we'll go ahead and plug this in. Now, I did install the driver for this a while back because I've done updates before. This is a 2.0 box, so we'll do the firmware over there. Now, the first thing it's going to show you, there's a PDF that shows you how to install the driver. Very convenient. I did have to install a driver on my computer, and I mean, I've got Windows 11 and everything else, so You probably will have to follow these instructions. It's pretty easy, straightforward. And another thing, this is a Microsoft Edge. You need a Chrome or an Edge browser. You can't do this in Firefox because it doesn't have the thing where you can connect directly to a COM port. But I mean, it's pretty easy. You just click the button, click install, and it'll go through its process. You'll see all the different lights blinking on here, and we'll just wait for that to finish. Alright, so I just went through the update. It did take about 2 minutes. I did get this error. I have seen this with my other brain box I have on my other car. It shouldn't be an issue. I did plug in my screen, and it is connecting to the brain box. So I'm just going to assume that it's okay. Let's see if I can get to the... Here we go. That will tell me the board's at 2.3, display's at 2.0. Yeah, I think everything's okay here. Even if you do get a weird error, it could just be my laptop, honestly. It's a real old laptop I have in the shop. Alright, so kind of show you my current setup here. So this is my 78 F-150 with a 460. It's been upgraded with a Edelbrock Performer intake and 4-barrel carburetor. I have the little phenolic spacer that came with the original beta kit. I've got a vacuum line, one going in the front, one going in the back, coming around and over. This one in the front goes to the side with the valve. This one in the back goes to the vacuum sensor, which is the recommended way to install it. I've got my beta brain box over there. Now, I've seen online where Joe and Luke actually recommend you place it closer so you get better performance or better responsiveness out of the Carb Cheater. I haven't noticed a huge issue with that. I probably could put it up there or something, but I'm just going to leave it as is. Basically, what we'll need to do is I need to replace this little block down here and then the brain box up here. All right, I pulled the stuff out. I opened up the old brain box just out of curiosity. You don't have to do this, but you can see the new box is quite a bit bigger, and this is an original beta tester. I was serial number 61. I've always thought this was just the coolest idea, to be able to have a computer make up for the shortcomings of carburetors while still being able to rely on the simplicity of a carburetor. Now here's really where you have to get things done. So this I took off of the truck. One thing that was no fun about this design is you have to take the valve out in order to unscrew everything. It's kind of nice they redesigned this little box here. But one thing I got to take off, I believe this little vacuum sensor. You have to take that off and put it onto the new block. But it does come with a new valve that's already installed and an adapter, because this air valve uses this little 4-prong plug, and this one has like a smaller 4 plug, but the adapter cable does come with the set, so we should be good there. Okay, I have transferred the air filter and the vacuum sensor to the new block with the new valve on it. I'm glad those plugs are angled in different directions because it seems like they would interfere with each other. I've got a couple self-tapping screws. Thank you, Pole Barn Garage, for popularizing these. And I'm going to put these into the wheel well, roughly in the same spot the old block was. Now when you plug your vacuum hoses back in, the one that's going toward the front of the carburetor needs to go to the air valve, which is going to be this bottom one. So that'll go there. And then this one that goes to the sensor goes to the back of the carb, because all it is a vacuum signal. And now to install our new brain box. And for future reference, if you're installing this for the first time, point it down a little bit, because this gap is not airtight. So rain, water, anything else, you want that box pointed down so that any kind of water doesn't want to go into where the circuit board is. Harness back in. You just pull this little purple thing down, put that on, and then squeeze that purple plug and it'll suck it right back on. We have the plug for the vacuum sensor. And now we just need to get the adapter for that. Plug that side in. I can get a good angle at it. There we go. And that's that. So hardware setup is pretty painless. And the new block fits where I put it. It is dead easy to upgrade from the beta version. Now all that's left is put the screen back in, give her a test drive.
The next morning.
Got everything installed and ready. I'm going to start her up and see how she runs. All right, we'll plug her in. Oh, the battery's dead. Dadgummit.
Eventually.
Battery's charged now. Let's try this again. Just need to let her warm up a little bit. So we're going through our settings here. I do need to turn the auto adjust on for it to start working. Idle, air targets 13.5. That's usually good for your idle speed, just so it doesn't stall or anything. Cruise 14.5. 14.7 is supposed to be perfect, but 14.5 is good, again, to make sure it doesn't run too lean. A lot of this stuff Thunderhead 289 covers in his videos, but it's pretty simple to just leave it at the default. You'll see that it starts adjusting on the fly to keep that 14.5 air-fuel mixture ratio. And like I said, the advantage of the 2.0 is it is a little faster and there's not a big whistling noise. The 1.0 or the beta tester unit, the valve made a real loud whistle whenever you would decelerate, and it would do its adjustments. This one you pretty much can't hear at all. And just for reference, the Carb Cheater in my Lincoln, if you've got a very crowded engine bay, I've got the brain box right there, kind of mounted to the firewall, and then over there I've got the valve, and then those tubes that run into the carburetor under there. So you wouldn't even notice it if it wasn't pointed out. I can get into the 10 to 15 miles per gallon range in a big block Ford, an emissions big block Ford. So definitely worth the investment. And that's pretty much it. Really, it's a plug-and-play upgrade going from the beta Carb Cheater to the 2.0. If you have a classic car and you're not a carburetor genius, you can tune it for pretty much for a ton of scenarios if you really want power, or to tune really for high performance, or in my case, tune for efficiency. I've got a 460 and a pickup truck with big tires. I'm not gonna get good gas mileage, but before Carb Cheater, I was getting like 7 or 8 miles a gallon. I can crack the double digits with the Carb Cheater almost on factory settings. For a classic car with a big block Ford, it really can't be beat. But Joe and Luke are good guys. This is a great product. 1000% recommend it. Now, Joe and Luke did ask us to make videos, but you can even see on the post where they asked if anyone wanted to make videos, everyone basically said we'll make it for free. I'm not sponsored or anything by them. It's like I said, if you're technically oriented where you can appreciate the capabilities of modern electronics to really fine-tune your vehicle, but you also want something simple and reliable that you can fix yourself, this is pretty much the perfect combination. Go grab a Carb Cheater. Installing it from scratch is easy, and if you have a beta test unit, it's an easy upgrade that's totally worth it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.